The Science Fair, Part 1. Introduction to the Science Fair. It was a bright and sunny morning when Sarah woke up feeling excited. Today was a special day at her school. It was the day of the Science Fair. The Science Fair was a big event where students could show their science projects to everyone. Sarah had been working on her project for weeks, and she couldn't wait to present it. Preparing for the big day, Sarah had chosen to do a project about volcanoes. She loved learning about how volcanoes worked and wanted to show everyone what she had learned. She made a model of a volcano using clay, paint, and some baking soda. She had practiced her presentation many times with her parents at home. They were proud of her hard work and wished her luck as she left for school that morning. At school, the hallways were full of students carrying their projects. Some students had made models, like Sarah, while others had done experiments or made posters. The school gym was decorated with colorful banners that said "Welcome to the Science Fair." Tables were set up all around the gym, each one ready to hold a science project. Setting up the project, Sarah found her table and carefully placed her volcano model on it. She set up a small poster next to the model that explained how volcanoes work. She also had a bottle of vinegar and some baking soda ready for her demonstration. Her friend, Jake, was setting up his project next to her. He had built a model of the solar system with planets that could spin around the sun. "Are you ready, Sarah?" Jake asked with a smile. "I think so," Sarah replied, feeling a little nervous, but excited at the same time. The teachers walked around the gym, checking to make sure everyone was ready. They told the students that the fair would start in a few minutes. Sarah took a deep breath and went over her presentation in her head one more time. The science fair begins. Soon, the doors to the gym opened, and parents, teachers, and other students began to walk in. The gym was buzzing with excitement. People moved from table to table, looking at the different projects. Sarah saw her parents enter the gym, waving at her with big smiles on their faces. When it was her turn to present, a group of students and a teacher gathered around Sarah's table. She started her presentation by explaining what a volcano is and how it works. She talked about the layers of the earth and how pressure builds up until a volcano erupts. Then she did her demonstration. She poured the vinegar into the volcano model, and the baking soda inside made the lava bubble up and flow out of the top. The students watching clapped and cheered, and Sarah felt proud of herself. Learning from others. After her presentation, Sarah had time to walk around and see other projects. She was amazed by all the different ideas. One student had made a project about how plants grow, showing different seeds and the stages of growth. Another student had created a robot that could move and pick up small objects. There was even a project about how lightning is formed during a storm. Sarah learned a lot by asking questions and listening to other students explain their projects. She was especially impressed by a project about how airplanes fly. The student who made it explain the science of lift and drag, and even had a small wind tunnel to show how air moves over the wings of an airplane. As the fair went on, Sarah and her friends talked about how much they had learned. They were all excited about science and couldn't wait to learn more in the future. End of part 1. The first part of the science fair was coming to an end, but the excitement was far from over. There were still more presentations to see, more projects to learn from, and more fun to be had. Sarah felt proud of her work and couldn't wait to see what would happen next. To be continued. The Science Fair, Part 2, A Day Full of Discoveries. After presenting her volcano project in the first part of the science fair, Sarah felt a mix of relief and excitement. She had worked so hard, and now she could enjoy the rest of the fair. As she walked around, she noticed many interesting projects and saw how different students used science to explore their ideas. One of the projects that caught her attention was about the life cycle of a butterfly. The student had brought in real caterpillars and butterflies, showing how they changed from one stage to the next. Sarah was fascinated by how the caterpillar turned into a chrysalis and then emerged as a beautiful butterfly. The student explained that this process is called metamorphosis, and it taught Sarah something new about nature. Meeting the judges. As Sarah continued to explore the fair, she noticed that the judges were walking around, carefully looking at each project. The judges were teachers and scientists from the local university. They asked the students questions about their projects to see how much they understood the science behind them. Sarah watched as one judge, a woman with glasses and a kind smile, talked to Jake about his solar system model. Jake explained how each planet moved around the sun, and the judge nodded, impressed by his knowledge. When the judges came to Sarah's table, she felt a little nervous. But she remembered how well her presentation had gone earlier and took a deep breath. The judge asked her about the different types of volcanoes and why she chose to do her project on this topic. I chose volcanoes because they are powerful and interesting, Sarah explained. I wanted to learn how they work and what causes them to erupt. The judge smiled and said, "You've done a great job explaining it, Sarah. I can see how much effort you put into your project." Hearing that made Sarah feel even more confident. The judges moved on to the next table, and Sarah felt proud that she had been able to share her knowledge with them. The award ceremony. After all the presentations were finished, it was time for the award ceremony. The students gathered in the school auditorium, where everyone was eager to find out who would win the prizes. There were different categories for the awards, like Best Experiment, Most Creative Project, and Best Presentation. The principal of the school stood on the stage and congratulated all the students for their hard work. He said that everyone had done an amazing job, and that the judges had a tough time deciding the winners. The first award, the principal announced, is for the best experiment. This award goes to a student who showed how plants grow in different conditions. Sarah clapped loudly as one of her classmates went up to the stage to receive the award. The next award was for Most Creative Project. This time, the winner was the student who made the robot. Sarah was amazed by how much talent her friends had. Finally, it was time to announce the Best Presentation Award. Sarah's heart raced as the principal spoke. This award goes to a student who not only created an impressive model, but also explained the science behind it with great enthusiasm. The winner of the Best Presentation Award is Sarah for her volcano project. Sarah couldn't believe it. She walked up to the stage, her heart pounding with excitement. The principal handed her a certificate and a small trophy. As she stood on the stage, looking out at her friends and family, she felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. All her hard work had paid off. Celebrating with friends and family. After the ceremony, Sarah's parents came to congratulate her. They were so proud of her for winning the award. Her mom gave her a big hug, and her dad took pictures of her holding the trophy. Jake and her other friends also came to congratulate her. They were happy for her and shared in her excitement. "I knew you would win," Jake said with a grin. "Your volcano was awesome. Thanks, Jake," Sarah replied, smiling. "Your solar system project was really cool too. I learned a lot from it." The students spent the rest of the day talking about the fair, their projects, and what they had learned. Sarah felt grateful for the experience and for the support of her friends and family. She realized that the science fair wasn't just about winning an award. It was about learning, sharing ideas, and having fun with science. Reflecting on the experience. That evening, as Sarah sat in her room looking at her trophy, she thought about everything she had learned from the science fair. She had discovered new things about volcanoes, seen amazing projects from her classmates, and even met real scientists who were interested in what she had to say. The experience had made her even more excited about science and curious to learn more. Sarah decided that she wanted to keep exploring science in the future. Maybe next year, she would do a project on the solar system like Jake's, or maybe she would try to build a robot. The possibilities were endless, and she couldn't wait to see what she would learn next. Looking forward to the future, as Sarah went to bed that night, she felt happy and content. The science fair had been a great success, and she was already thinking about what her next project would be. She knew that whatever it was, she would work hard, just like she did with her volcano. The science fair had taught her that with determination and curiosity, she could achieve great things. Sarah drifted off to sleep with a smile on her face, dreaming of new adventures in science. She knew that this was just the beginning of her journey, and she was excited to see where it would take her. The end.